Alrighty, hey everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Stranger channel. October is Batman month, and I wanted to make a video as I'm on my way into work, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. So, because this channel is new and everybody is new to meeting me, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about why October is Batman month. So, about 11 years ago, I was with an ex-girlfriend of mine. She's an ex-girlfriend now. She was a girlfriend then, who used to work at the Borders store. Uh, I had just gotten back. Well, I shouldn't say I had just gotten back into collecting comics, because I had been collecting comics or recollecting comics for about 3 to 4 years at that point. I mean, because I was still in high school, so collecting comics was kind of hard. I didn't really have a job, so I had to rely on Free Comic Book Day to pedal one or two towns over to get to the nearest comic book shop to grab books, or hope that somebody would buy me comic books. Anyway, so this was just a couple years after high school. I was dating a new girl. I was dating this girl. I'm sorry, actually no, it wouldn't be a few. It'd be a few years after high school. So I was dating this girl. She was working at Borders, and I had read an article. It was like top 10 graphic novels to read for Halloween, and one of them was Batman: The Long Halloween. And so I got interested in it because I had read articles about it. It was some anniversary. It was like an anniversary milestone for it, 15th year or something like that, anniversary. And so I read that. I read the article. It really piqued my interest, so I got into it. I picked it up and read it. I read it the entire month because at the time I was working and working out, getting ready to join the Marine Corps. So I only got to read an issue a day over a span of time, and it was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. So then I dedicated October for every year to reading. At first, it was just going to be Tim Sale and Jeff Loeb. I was going to just read their stuff, and then I was going to move on to their Spider-Man, their Daredevil. I was going to just make it that, but I ended up reading some of their Marvel stuff, and I was like, I think I'm just going to stick to the Batman stuff. And so I did. I ended up, the first year I read Long Halloween, then The Haunted Knight, and then the one where they introduced Robin. Oh my gosh, the name, I just saw it. For whatever reason, the title of that graphic novel slipped in my mind. So I read those the first 3 years. Then I read Batman Year One, which, funny enough, when I went to go read Batman Year One, the animated movie, I'm pretty sure either the animated Batman Year One movie had either just came out that year, or maybe it was the year before. No, I'm pretty sure it was, or was it the year after? Dang, it was within that time frame. I'm almost positive that it came out at that time, because I think that movie came out in 2013, the animated one. I could be wrong. That's always a possibility. I'm not always right, but I never lie. Contrary to what Ethan Van Sciver says, I'm not a liar. I might just be mistaken. That's all I'm saying. I think I read it and watched it the same year, because I think it coincided. I'm almost positive it coincided. So then I moved on to, after that, I think the year after that one, I read Batman No Man's Land Volume 1. After that was Nightfall. The Nightfall Collection Volume 1, the one that's like the size of a phone book. I read that one. The year after that, I wanted to read Nightfall Volume 2, but I didn't get around to it. I didn't get around to buying it. We were really crushed for money, because by the time it got around to that point, I think we were living in East Ohio, and we had situations, so I couldn't, a lot of money situations, so I couldn't afford that. I couldn't afford that book, but I had a bunch of Batman graphic novels built up. from like the New 52. So I sat and read like the first 15 issues of Detective Comics, the New 52 Detective Comics, or maybe it was in the first 20. It might have been the first 20 actually, because it was the Emperor Penguin arc. Was like I had just finished that, and that's where I left off. So I read from like issue 1 to whenever that arc ended. Was where I ended. Yeah. So yeah. So that's where I landed. I'm trying to think. There was a bunch more that I read. One, two, three, one. We got No Man's Land, Dark Knight, the graphic novel. Hush! I forgot about that. Hush was one of the early ones too. I forgot about that. I almost skipped Hush. Hush was the one. No, Hush was the one that I read after year 1 because I read it and I gave it to my pastor. I bought it for that October, read it for October, and then I gave it to my pastor for Christmas because he really he always really wanted it. He's a big Jim Lee fan. He was huge Jim Lee fan in the 80s and the 90s. That was his boy, man. He loves that guy. So yeah, I gave that to him. I almost forgot. That was one of them. So I'm trying to remember all the other ones that I've read. I've read a bunch. Sorry, sometimes it's a little hard to recall, but I'm planning on doing a review on all 11 things that I've read over the years. I'm gonna do like real quick reviews, maybe like 5-6 minute book reviews on everything that I've read so far up until this point, and then this year I'm going to be reviewing for this month. It's going to be Batman Bruce Wayne Murderer and Batman Bruce Wayne Fugitive. Those two, because they coincide with each other. One of the major important parts too is that I've been reading Batgirl and Nightwing, those like the 90s 2000 runs. I've been reading those books, the Cassandra Cain Batgirl. Sorry, yeah, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, and Nightwing. So I've been reading those, and I'm up to that point right now in both of those series where it ties into Murderer and Fugitive. And so when you read, and because they're tie-in books, there's tons of gaps in story that you're just kind of like, well, what the hell happened? So I'm trying to read those. I'm gonna read these back to back, which will also help me be able to progress through those other series. So other things too that I plan on doing, because it's Batman month, we're going to talk about all things Batman related, which includes Bat Family. So I'm looking forward to doing book reviews on Nightwing from the 90s and Nightwing Blue 52 stuff. I'm also planning on doing some Batgirl reviews and some Robin reviews. Let's see what else we got planned. Well, make sure to check in with Daily Comics Nexus on Facebook. Make sure to check in on that, because that will be that's where I'm going to have a lot more interactive material. Sorry, it's like really, really hot in my car for some reason. It's not even that warm out. It's just hot as hell for some reason. I don't know why. Well, anyway, make sure you go check them out on Facebook. I'm admin Hawk Dad on there. I'll be posting all sorts of interactive things. Like so far, I think today, Wednesday. Today we're talking about Harley Quinn costumes, and I'm going to be posting a book review for 10 p.m. We've got yesterday was we were talking about Stephanie Brown. Which one is your favorite Stephanie Brown persona? Do you like Spoiler? Did you like her as Robin, even though it was really brief? Did you like her as Robin? Did you like her as Batgirl? Did you prefer her as Batgirl? I liked her as Batgirl. I really liked her as Batgirl. I liked the idea of her using batons for her combat style. I always really do like when Bat Family, you know, the fact that the rest of the Bat Family they do use weapons, like Robin's Extremisticks and Robin's bow staff or Damian's sword. I don't like Damian. Not gonna lie, I don't like Damian, but the fact that he uses a sword, it's kind of cool. Barbara really didn't use any weapons. She was just straight empty hand. Yeah, she was more often just straight empty hand. And Cassandra Cain was empty hand too, but that's because she was just like one of the best. You know, she had that. She had a very similar superpower in a lot of ways. Well, it's not really a superpower. It was just okay. So the thing about her, because I've been reading it. So in case you don't know anything really about Cassandra Cain, she's the daughter of an assassin, and I believe her mom is Lady Shiva. I'm pretty positive it's Lady Shiva. So she was born and raised, trained as an assassin. You know, from basically the moment she could walk, her body was to be trained to murder. And she never learned how to communicate. That portion of her brain was used to calculate body movements and to interpret body movements and combat. And basically body language. That was the language she understood. So depending on how you shifted around her or certain things, like she could read your body language, and you know, she'd be able to defeat you just by observing you. She could, you know, just own you, which was one of the reasons why Batman wanted her in his the Bat Family. And it was really cool. It's been really cool. So it's a really cool read. And eventually, once she learns how to talk, her skill goes from, you know, this like completely unbeatable to like rookie level. So that was kind of a really unique thing that happened to her character. I think she's now known as Black Bat in DC Rebirth. She's known as Black Bat, and she's I don't know if she's still mute. I haven't read Detective Comics Rebirth yet. I'm getting to it though. I've been reading other stuff up until now, mostly just trying to catch up. Let me think. What else did I read? I've read Batman Year Zero. I think that was one of the ones I read. I think that was the year prior. That was 2016's read. Was Batman Year Zero. That was the one I read in 2016. So yeah, 2015 was Dark Knight, the Big Dark Knight Volume 1. 2016 was Batman Year Zero. Yeah, because I was still in East. Oh, I know I had just moved back last October. So what did I read last October? I know I read something. Shoot. I have to remember what I read last year. I know I read stuff. It might have been more. Oh, you know what? I think it was Death of the Family is what I read last year. Pretty sure that's what I read last year. And so this year, yeah. So anyway, this year it's going to be so this year it's going to be Fugitive. Sorry, I'm going on a rant. I'm going off on all sorts of tangents here. Sorry. Because I'm just trying to, this is something I kind of have to do when I'm trying to remember things. I have to think about other things, but maybe slightly related, and it helps jog my memory about what, things that I've done, especially when you're a parent and you operate on, maybe like 4 or 5 good straight hours of sleep and intermittent naps in between. Between baby cries, sometimes it makes it look difficult, but I'm gonna, you know what? Oh yeah. So some of the other things too that I plan on reviewing. I've got some graphic audio audiobooks that I'm you know, in novels and stuff like that. Batman novels I'm planning on reviewing this month. We're gonna be talking all sorts of Batman this month, except for on Mondays. On Mondays, I'm gonna be doing Hawkman because it's gonna be Hawktober Mondays. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's not enough Hawkman on YouTube. Not enough Hawkman videos on YouTube. I wish I could have made a video on Monday about Hawkman, but because of that, you know, me paying $2 to have Ethan Van Sciver and Chuck Dixon call me a liar, it kind of threw off my Monday. Like, plus, I mean, I'm going to be open with you guys. My grandmother on my dad's side, she's in hospice care and she's getting ready to pass away. And I had just got reunited with my father. I haven't seen him. Like, I think I sat down with him back in like 2013. Prior to that was back in like 2004, 2003. I think it was 2003. And then before that, it was like 1998. And then before that, it was like 1994, 93, something like that. It was like really, really, I was like really, really young. You know, so, you know, after my mom and dad got divorced, you know, he'd show around, like he'd show up a couple of times, but, you know, he was never there. You know what I mean? Like we would go out for a breakfast or something, and then like that was it. You know, I just needed to take that time to, you know, so I used this opportunity to reunite with him, forgive him for, you know, being gone, and just like let things go. I guess this is a good time to wrap up this video. I guess I can just leave a little PSA message here, just a little piece of wisdom. And if you're not a parent now and you have any kind of misgivings with your parents, you should, for your own sake, move past them, move on, because you'll never be able to be a full parent to your kid or your children until you've moved on. And that's kind of how I felt, was even for my own daughter. I felt like I couldn't be a parent 100% by still holding a grudge against my own dad and having you know, and everything like that. So life is short. You know, try not to hold too many grudges. Just let things go. You know, forgive those who trespass against you. I mean, it's so easy. Life is so easy to have that kind of stuff happen, but just try not to let it rule. Just try not to let it rule your life. Which I guess is a very important lesson and ties into Batman. I mean, it's, you know, the murder of his mom and dad, you know, rules his life. You know, he died. He was the third victim that died in that alleyway, and he was reborn as Batman. So maybe that's what it takes, you know, be reborn into something better and stronger. So, but everybody, peace be with you. It's going on 20 minutes video. It was a little bit longer than I wanted, but all right, everybody, have a great night.